Hello? So I don't think that's on.
It's not on.
No.
It's on.
It's on? Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to our workshop. We are very happy about this eProcurement, the electronic online bidding and processing of contracts. And overall, the overview of eProcurement is it's an enhancement to the city's procurement financial system. Because of the latest digital technology, the acquisition of goods and services, making our lives and your lives much easier. You can respond to bids, RFPs, and RFQs online this way. It's going to streamline everything. That's the future. We're going to move some steps. You're going to be able to view and track your contracts, your receipts, payments, and invoices. And you also electronically submit invoices with and also, there's a big, advantage. There's time savings that's involved. Time saving for you, for our department, processing all the paperwork. So that's a big advantage for that. And also the history of electronic history, the electronic footprint. Okay. The key objectives here, allowing vendors to download and respond to solicitations electronically. You can do this, respond electronically, download it. And for us, as I mentioned earlier, streamlining the creation and approval of contracts, amendments, modifications, extensions, ensuring all contracts, modifications are processed quickly and in accordance with ordinances and laws, regulations, eliminating, the big thing here, paper-based processes. Now, this has been a problem here, I think, in many municipalities. It's just the paperwork in general, right? So this is going to streamline everything. It's going to be cost savings. It's going to be efficient, time management for the employees as well. Consolidating procurement data and data tracking and through multiple systems. So this is another advantage here. We're going to track everything. It's going to be in one place, one repository, and it'll be easier at our fingertips to pull any historical data. We're going to be able to online process to capture and store your registration, any communication back and forth with our procurement team, and contract processing as well. Let's see. All right. So the portal, the online portal for eProcurement is called iSupplier, and this will be the system for all purchasing activities. And you as a vendor, you'll be able to access the iSupplier portal and to view responses to bids and respond to solicitations online, view your orders, your payments, invoices, update your company information, contacts. You could have more than one contact when you register. You could have yourself. You could have some your managers. You could up to think 3 or 4. You could as many contacts you want. If you need to update your address, your phone numbers, or email address, you'll be able to do that online. And you'll also we actually will be assisting you with transitioning to the online bidding. We have developed a microsite which will help you guide you through this. The entire eProcurement process. And this site, the microsite, will be updated regularly, and it does include training materials and videos that we uploaded. And let's see, and the next one is there's a registration process, but it's like two-step. If you're a current city vendor, you will have to be invited and then you'll respond to that invitation. And then if you're a new vendor, you've never done business with the City of Chicago, you'll be able to do a new vendor registration on your own. And what is needed and required, you cannot complete that registration without your FEIN number or W-9. So we're going to go ahead and start. This is Ben Ho, Deputy Procurement Officer, Deputy Procurement Department Procurement Services.
Thank you, Lucy. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to show you a little bit of the microsite, and hopefully if it works well here, a demo of the actual live site for eProcurement. If you do have questions, please stand up, raise your hand, and I will try to get your question in while we're at the appropriate portion of the demo. Otherwise, we'll have room for questions at the very end. So, okay. So the eProcurement microsite looks like so. We're going to go to the live one. Oops. Okay, there we are. So let's go to the login. There are 4 sections of the iSupplier portal that pertain to eProcurement. First one is login and registration. For all eProcurement bids, they will need to be responded to electronically. We're going to have paper bids and eProcurement bids going on in parallel probably for the next year or so. In the next several weeks, we will have the eProcurement first eProcurement pilot bid for commodities. And that will be appearing on the eProcurement microsite. There will be a separate listing of eProcurement bids and a separate listing of the existing paper bids. If you get a advertisement in the Sun-Times, or you get a listing from the bid and bond room that refers to bid and bond, everything still stays the same. If it says this is an electronic bid, you need to come through here. So if you come here, the very first thing you have to do is register. Let's click on register now. Thank you. So there are 2 registration processes, as Lucy alluded to earlier. How many of you are existing vendors that have contracts with the City of Chicago? So most of you. In that case, you have to do existing City of Chicago vendors. And that is to request an invitation. That's the very first thing you have to do. So if you go ahead and click the Request iSupplier Invitation, what it does is it opens your email client, and it will address an email to, it doesn't open here, but in your case, you will have the ability to open that at your desk, provided your email client is properly configured. If not, you run into the same problem. The email address is it's stated in the microsite. It's called eProcSupport@cityofchicago.org. There is a live human being there. It's not one of these autoresponders.
And it's also hyperlinked as well there. You can also click on the hyperlink and it automatically opens up the email in addition to the request card.
So eProcSupport@cityofchicago.org. So you would request an iSupplier invitation. That's the very first thing you have to do if you want to get into the eProcurement site. Bid and Bond will be responsible for creating your accounts. You will get an account that is sent to account with login and password information will be sent to you. You will need this information to log on to iSupplier. Let's go back to the login for new vendor. If you're a new vendor, you can go straight to the registration site.
But here's an existing vendor. This is Ron's. This one's Ron's.
Okay.
It's existing.
Now, if you can log in here, since I can't see it. So this is a new vendor registration, which for those of you who have existing contracts with the city, you cannot use this screen. When you do get registered, there will be, you can go and update your information on a screen that looks similar to here, but then you will need to provide your email address and company name and your name to our bid and bond. They will look you up. The reason why you can't register directly is that if a vendor record exists in the city, all of you have vendor records if you've done business with the city, then the invitation is required, and this information is used just to update, not to create your vendor record because it already exists. So once you have the invitation, you will still need to update your W-9 form. You will scan it and attach it, and that will then become part of your vendor record with the city. That will verify your tax ID. We should alert you that for many of you, we do have your W-9 on file in the FMPS system to which this is hooked up. But some of you, we may not have your correct FEN on file, which is why we're requesting the W-9s. So when you are registered, you will be able to log in. And so the login page looks like so. And
Type in.
what?
It's wrong.
Okay, let's see.
There it is.
Hold on.
Type in this, type in box. Corporation. Let's go slow. I think you gotta move a little bit closer to there. It's going really slow. Yeah, I don't want the button. Zoom in slow. Okay, you got it.
You got it?
No.
Did it?
You gotta retype it in. Maybe ROM, R, AST, corporation. No, you're missing the T.
Where am I?
Keep going. I know. Two more. T. Put a T for AST. Corporation now. COR. POR.com. And then his password. Log in.
Did you hit?
I'll try this. Right.
Okay, we're in. So once we're in, there are two responsibilities, what we call responsibilities on this side, which is iSupplier portal and Chicago online bidding. iSupplier portal lets you look at, we made it too big, lets you look at your orders. You can look at orders there. If you look on the right-hand side, you will see that you can look up receipts and invoices as well. So go ahead and click on one of those PO numbers, Lucy.
Click on this one.
She's clicking on 28759-18. The dash stands for a release. So you can see all the information about the release. $15,200 it was made to a particular vendor at whatever address, and it was shipped to the address. If you look at the right side, there is, you can tell that it was received, yes. You can tell that it was invoiced. So you can see a lot of questions that you call the finance about or you call procurement about for your city contracts. So this is very, very helpful, I'm sure, to those of you who value your time and can quickly look up the information about the city. Are there any questions on this? This is going to be one of the major deadlines for your business. Yes. The question that we received from the audience is iSupplier available for prime or subcontract? This is only for prime contractors with the city. Subcontractors do not have to receive any of this information. Now you receive your orders directly from the prime. So at this point, there's no access for subcontractors into the system. It's only for people who have direct contracts with the city. Yes, sir, in the back.
Is this, are we able to look up all of the paperwork we've submitted, or just stuff that we've done through eProcurement?
Okay. The question from the audience is, can we see all things that have been submitted to the city or just paperwork through eProcurement? So let me answer this question several ways. If you have existing contracts with the city, you should be able to see them all. However, there's a big however, and I know several of you in this room probably are subject to this however, is that some of you have multiple vendor numbers with the city. You might not even know it because this is not your fault, but the city might have created you in the system several times. So when you get created as a supplier in iSupplier, your login account is associated with a vendor number. So let's say you have one vendor number. All your transactions, past and future, will show in the system. However, if you, let's say, have 3 vendor numbers, we try to assign you to the one that has the most of your transactions, and we also try to merge you so that all 3 vendor numbers will be consolidated into one. But if you're not merged yet, then you'll only see the transactions that pertain to that vendor number. Does that make sense? So if you don't see transactions, we would ask that you notify us by email or email the eProc support, and then we will investigate why you're not seeing everything, and then at that point we may bump you up on the candidates for merging those vendor numbers. The reason that we can't merge everybody right away is, let's say you have a bid coming up. The merge process actually requires a fair amount of research to figure out which vendor number should be the merged candidate and which ones will be merged into it. And
Homepage, there is a link, there's an icon that says iSupplier.
Okay, and the second question is, what products or services fall under paper, I guess, bids versus the,
okay.
I guess, eProcurement?
Let me repeat your question for the online audience. The question is, what contracts will fall under the paper process versus the online process? So we are starting with a commodities bid within the next several weeks. So it's actually going through the approval process even as we speak now internally. So commodities and small orders will be the first to be to start with eProcurement. And then we will be looking at the results of those bids very closely to make sure that people are having a good experience and are finding it easy to log on and submit bids. So those are two sort of, it's our pilot run for those. And then assuming that the pilot runs go successfully, then later this summer and fall, we will then do all commodities and all small orders, but we don't want to do that yet till we make sure that, it all works well all the way from the time of advertisement all the way through the time of award, which, as you know, can take a few months. But at the same time, we will also start some additional pilots for RFPs and RFQs, which is professional services. And after that, we will begin with work services, again, all with pilots, and then architecture and engineering and construction. So depending on what contract you do with the city, you can gauge for yourself how long it might be before you have eProcurement. You can have the iSupplier view into your existing contracts immediately upon requests. That will be going. You can start requesting that even after you leave this seminar today. But the actual bidding is, we expect that these contract types will take probably until at least the end of this year, early next year to roll out, and it will probably be this time next year before all contracts are being done in eProcurement. So we want to phase them in so that we provide a good experience for the vendors, that you're not going to run into any surprises. And so we do ask for your patience in that regard. So any other questions before we move on to additional demos? Yes?
So if this is active now, so we can register our existing vendors, back to the question of what's the URL again?
So it's www.cityofchicago.org/eProcurement, all one word, all lowercase.
This PowerPoint will be online.
We will be providing this PowerPoint online, linked from the DPS main homepage. As you know, the DPS homepage is www.cityofchicago.org/DPS. We don't have the microsite linked from there yet, but it will be linked there over the next several days.
But you could access this also, in this PowerPoint that will be on that site, it has the address to it.
And www.citychicago.org/eProcurement will take you directly to that site. And let's see. Okay. So once we're at that site and you log in, we're showing you some of the features of what you're seeing. This is for viewing the contract information and release information, and you can see whether we have receipted against it, because that receipting is done by the user department, as you know, and that is required for you to get paid. So if you see that it's been receipted, your payment should be coming shortly thereafter, provided that you have invoiced, because our Department of Finance will enter your invoice, and then once it's in there, it will be matched to your receipt and the PO, and the payment will be made to you.
Here's the action drop down.
Yes, go ahead. And
With this, you could also view it in PDF format. You could view your receipts, your invoices, your payments, and shipments. I don't think they have anything.
okay, so there is something in the works now to allow you to electronically invoice the city using iSupplier as well. This is not operational at the moment. It will probably be added by the end of the year. Again, in a pilot stage. And if you have invoices that you want to submit electronically, these will be keyed in through iSupplier screens like you're seeing now. And however, if you are a large volume of business with the cities, let's say if you're doing hundreds and hundreds of invoices like Office Depot, we do not yet have the electronic interface that will allow your system to enter your invoices into our system. This is more a manual entry. You can enter it into the system and the city will immediately receive it and be acknowledged by our finance department, but it is not a connection into your computer system. So I do want to, so if you run QuickBooks or whatever, you cannot have QuickBooks invoice the city at this time. So, but however, you can key in all the invoice information here and then have your invoice received immediately by the city. That will be coming. There will be additional announcements about that towards the end of the year.
Nothing on finance, is there?
No, this is all, a lot of this is finance. So any questions? This is the, we apologize that this system cannot provide you a better experience of seeing this. Now let's look at online bidding. So if you click on sourcing and then sourcing homepage, then let's see. We actually want to show them the list of, okay, open notifications. Where's the job? View. Okay, all notifications. Go. Okay. So actually, in order for you to see the list of bids, it's necessary to go to the microsite. Let's see, where did that go? Oh wait, here it is. Okay, go up, there's another tab there. There we go. And then let's go back to the top of the microsite. And then home.
I'm going to go home
And then go, there's current bids. So current bids is split up into two. There are eProcurement bids, and then there will be non-eProcurement bids. The non-eProcurement bids is what you're used to seeing now on the website. That is for all the paper bids. The eProcurement one, let's go ahead and open that now. There's nothing listed now, but it's going. When you go back up, you will see at the top that there is a status. So let's go ahead and look at a closed one, because there are no open ones yet. So it's going to look like this. So you will see event tells you the type of contract it is. Solicitation number. This is a new number that you're not used to seeing, but each solicitation will have its number. It's not the same as the spec number. The solicitation number is the number you want to write down, and when you get into the eProcurement homepage and look at that sourcing screen, it will ask you for the solicitation number. That's the number you'll need in order to respond to a bid. You can also look it up by title. You will see at the solicitation title, it starts out with the spec number. And then it will have the name of the contract after that. You'll have the advertisement date and the supplier restart date, which is the same as the advertisement date. And then the response due date is the bid opening date. And then protected market. So if this is a target market, it'll be indicated there, or one of these small business incentives, it will be indicated there. And then the deadline for questions. So that is, there'll be a deadline for questions. There should also be your pre-bid conference date. I think with this screen, it's there. It's just kind of,
Deadline for questions.
Yep, deadline for questions, but there's also another date, which is the actual, because the deadline for questions is different from the pre-bid date, and let's go.
Sorry, under details.
When we look at details, there's a details icon, which will give you all of that information I was just referring to that you need to know about this. It'll tell you there's a pre-solicitation conference, whether it's mandatory or not. We will be having a mandatory pre-bid for the first several of these eProcurement pilots so that people can learn about eProcurement, and we can tell them how to register and how to do the online bidding. You guys who are in here may or may not be eligible to bid for the first one. Will be for for the Department of Water. It will be a water treatment chemical. So if you do business in that now, you may want to register straight away. Now at the top, how do you actually look at the bid? Let's go ahead and, you see at the very top it says PDF file. You click on that and it will let you look at the bid documents. It's a little bit slow here, so just hold on.
Want to move the cursor away from that button.
Hold on, it might.
No, I see at the bottom it's waiting.
It's waiting. Okay, so no, don't click it too many times. It'll
Just
mess up.
move the cursor away from there. Now we're clicking.
It's just very slow.
Let's
Now
take.
it is. Now it is.
Now it's open to the bottom. Do you see 7.pdf? Now we can open it. So the actual bid documents, remember, are electronic, and the PDF is not what you respond to. So when you log in using that number of the solicitation, number 7 in this case, you won't see something that looks like this. This might be useful as a guide to you as you are going through, because it will summarize the information you're going to see on all the different screens. Okay.
Close this one up.
No, I'd like to scroll down. Let's show them the lines. Okay, what this is going to show you are first the lines that you'll be bidding on. So it shows a lot of extraneous junk, but basically it will say this is the header information. Let's keep going down. Keep going. So these, you're going to see these are what we call the requirements questions. So these are questions that may, actually, can you scroll back up before we get to the lines? Yes. So these would be, for example, it might say, please submit or attach your Schedule C or your Schedule D. It's going to be all the instructions for the different pieces of information that you have to provide with your bid. And your main way there's two main ways of providing the information. Doing attachments and answering the questions. Some will be questions, and then you answer the questions in the system. Others would be PDFs or Excel or Word that you can attach to your bid. For commodities bids and small orders bids, you will not be attaching Excel price sheets. You scroll down. Keep going. Okay, so you see these are the lines now. So you'll have a description of the line item, then you have a commodity code, then you'll have the quantity and the unit of measure, and then you'll fill in the price. So you will see that in an electronic form, and you will insert the pricing and fill that out electronically. The system will total that up for you, and you do need to attach all of the documents. There are quite a few attachments that are fillable PDFs that you'll need to fill those PDFs out either by, if you have Adobe, you can fill them out using that way, the Adobe Writer, or you can print them out, because some of them will require signatures, and there is one electronic signature for the whole bid, which you accept a disclaimer, and then you type your name and then your title, and that constitutes your electronic signature on the bid. But as you know, many of the bid documents themselves have, some have notarizations and some have additional signatures. Those will be, you'll prepare those offline, scan them, and then upload them into the system. And then you'll submit them that way.
And then we'll have to mail the originals in later, or how will that work?
Let me repeat the question for the online viewers. The question is, do you follow up and mail in the originals? There will be some of them that are required to be mailed in. We will inform you in the bid. I believe the bid execution page will have to be followed up, and I don't have a complete list of the documents now that will still need to be mailed in, but we will be stating that in the bid itself. Yes, question?
For professional services, does this same process apply? Because we would not respond in, like filling out, like commodities, we would not respond in that way. So would the same process apply?
The question from the audience is, will we have the same process for professional services? The answer is you will have a different process apply, and with professional services, almost all of it will be done by attachments, probably, as opposed to filling out. Remember I said there were two ways of getting information into the system. One is by answering questions and filling out the line items in the system, and the other one is by attachments. So for RFPs and RFQs, and most likely for construction, in those areas, everything will be done via attachments. So let's scroll through the rest of this document so you see what's in there. So you got the lines, the description of the lines, and then there's going to be the terms and conditions, which are not in this sample, but you'll see in all the various attachments that you're used to, the Schedule Cs and the Ds, all of those will be appendices to the document. So the actual document is still pretty thick, just as you're used to, but it is all online. You will not, please be aware, you will not be able to pick up an eProcurement bid in Bid and Bond. We will not be distributing copies of those in Bid and Bond. Paper bids you may continue to pick up in Bid and Bond. The eProcurement bids will have to be downloaded and reviewed by yourself. We understand that many folks who are primes will distribute them to their subcontractors. You can now tell your subs to go there directly. You do not need to have a login to view the document as you see. So they can go there and click on that PDF and download their very own copy if they'd like. So that makes it easier to distribute to the subcontractors who are working with you. Okay, let's go back to the microsite. Okay, so that's how you view the current bid opportunities. Non-eProcurement, we're going to just quickly show you, but it's
just the website?
It's just what you're used to seeing now. So nothing's changed there. And then let's go to home, and then we'll show you the training materials. So the third one is online training materials. So we have quite a few pieces of training materials for you. If you get stuck, we do encourage you to turn here first. They come in two formats. They can be in PowerPoint
PDF.
And PDF. So
PDF and video.
I'm sorry, the PDF is generated from a PowerPoint. That's what you click on first. Go ahead and click on one. So we have first time accessing iSupplier is the very first one for you. And
Here we go.
And so there's screens and explanations of the different screens that you'll be encountering.
It gives you step-by-step instructions, and it's quite intuitive, so it's very easy to go through. I mean, it could be a little bit time-consuming, but it's very informative. So if you have a question, this is really the first place to go to, is the site.
Then we'll close that. And then,
Video?
let's look at a video.
And there's video.
So it's the same thing except presented in YouTube. There are no narrations, so it is just video.
It's a little bit faster, but you could pause it at any time and go back, play it, pause it, go return, So it'd be, if you want to view the video, it's a helpful tool.
This is what we use for internal training of city staff on the system as well. And so there's a whole variety of help guides. We'll be adding more as time goes on. And then let's go to home again and go to that, I believe there's a contact us at the bottom. Let's see.
I think it was on training, wasn't it?
No. Okay, let's look at the fourth icon, and then we'll go to Contact Us. Okay. No. So how many of you are registered for DPS alerts? For most of the room? If you are not, we highly recommend that you register for DPS alerts. DPS alerts is sent out once a week. It is a list of everything that is up for bid. And so if you aren't in the habit of checking the DPS website on a regular basis for bid opportunities, we highly encourage you to sign up so that these bids will be sent straight to your email box.
Okay, so here's where the iSupplier link will be on the DPS page. So here's the DPS the procurement services page. There'll be, I believe, one here, but it's going to be right here. It'll be live shortly. That's where you go and bring you to the microsite.
Shortly is within the next several days, right, because we are getting ready for the commodities pilot bid.
Right.
And
you don't have that one that's contact us.
no. Wait, there should be something at, let's see, login and registration. At the bottom of login and registration, please. And then disclaimer. Okay, that.
Oh, here it is.
Help.
Help.
So in order to get help,
You're on the home page for help. It should be visible. And here's the menu. Here's a drop-down menu. Click on help, and if it's an e-procurement issue, if after reviewing materials you've been through it and you're still stuck and you're not sure, just click on e-procurement support and an email will be generated to us. And there's always somebody working at help desk.
so that will be mostly the bid and bond room folks that you know.
And for payments and invoices, it's an email that goes into finance. If there's an issue that you cannot see cannot be resolved within looking at your account. And of course, you forgot your username and password, that will go to the...
Actually, this is an automated
Right.
Password reset. It looks like this. You enter your email, and the system will send you a password reset. So that, in a nutshell, is an overview of the e-procurement system. We look forward to using it and working with you using the system to make the bidding process much smoother and easier for you and for the city, and hope that it will result in substantial benefits to all of us, plus the taxpayers of the city of Chicago.
Yes.
Are there
To
any?
make this a success, we encourage you to really go online and register and do all your business online, because we want to really want to push this out and get the word out on the street.
So, are there any last questions before we conclude?
So is this immediately online right now?
You can go on. The question is it immediately online? If you type in www.citychicago.org/eProcurement, you will go there immediately. It is live right now. It is not necessarily linked from the homepage yet, but you can get there directly, and this is a bonus and a thank you from us for attending this seminar. Any other questions? Thank you very much, and we appreciate your attendance.
Every time.